Hola muchachos, ¿qué tal? Buenos días. Aquí tienen el horario para hoy, martes, el 14 de marzo. Today is midterm day, quarter three midterm that we've been preparing for the past few weeks. You have your study guide here. It's all reading and multiple choice. It'll take about a half hour to 45 minutes to take. There you have your key vocabulary and concepts. And there you have the description for the reading and the listening comprehension section. So we're going to knock out your midterm first, and then after that we will pivot to the Cesar Chavez film synopsis and reflection questions that go along with it. Before we do that though, let's talk about your presentación oral, preparándose para un viaje. This is due by the end of today. You guys can click here for detailed instructions for this assignment, but basically the three things that you want to include, and they're a bit different than what's outlined here. That's why we went over the instructions together in class several times, but just for good measure, you can watch the video here for detailed instructions. But the three things again are where you went, 5 things you brought with you, and the 5 experiences that you had on your trip. Preparándose para un viaje. So imagine that you guys have studied abroad or traveled abroad to the country of interest that you identified at the beginning of this chapter, when we were talking about the opportunities to study abroad, the advantages and the benefits of studying abroad, or just traveling abroad in general. You guys identified a place or places that you wanted to visit. Imagine that you've just returned from that trip, and you guys are going to provide for me the following 3 things. Number 1, where did you go? Yo fui a Italia. Yo fui a España. Yo fui a México. Yo fui a Japón. Alright, so yo fui, I went. Yo fui a, and the place. Cosas que necesito, you're going to use this phrase here to indicate 5 things that you had to bring with you or that you needed on your trip. And they can be basic things like items of clothing, for example, sombrero, chaqueta, camiseta, pantalones jeans, zapatos. They could be toiletries like the key vocabulary outlined in this chapter, la pasta dental, shampoo, el cepillo de dientes, or they can be kind of personal items, things that you know you can't go without, such as el teléfono, la cámara, el cuaderno, el libro, etc. All right, so identify 5 items that you need to bring with you on this trip, and express that. You're going to start with cosas que yo necesito, right? Things that I need. Cosas que yo necesito son, and then list your 5 items. And then finally, not mentioned here in the textbook, what I want you to do is give me 5 experiences that you had while you were on this trip. What are 5 things that you did that are the highlights of your trip? 5 experiences, 5 activities. And you're going to express those verbs in the preterite, the simple past tense, the tense that we've been focused on for most all of the quarter. Yo visité el Museo de la Prada. Yo comí pasta. Yo tomé café, or yo bebí café. Yo vi una película en italiano. Yo fui a la playa. Yo nadé en la playa. Yo compré mucha ropa. Yo escuché un concierto en vivo. So give me 5 activities that you guys experienced on that trip. Recapping, 3 things you need to include. Where did you go? 5 things you brought, and 5 experiences that you had. All right, so that's the oral presentation that was due for today. Again, after the midterm, we are going to watch the film Cesar Chavez. You guys can take a look at the film synopsis and the reflection questions that you are going to answer associated with the film. You can access both by clicking here. You have the film synopsis, a little bit of a background of the life and legacy of Cesar Chavez. And then you also have the reflection questions there at the very bottom. And you guys are to pick 4 and write a full paragraph response for each. So that's going to be 4 paragraphs total in English for this, and this is going to be due at the end of class next class.